Welcome to B2B Life with Jeff Brummer. This is your chance to listen in on conversations with successful entrepreneurs and business owners on their journey to success. Every story is different, but after consulting thousands of businesses over the last 20 years managing their business payments, Jeff has seen what works and what doesn't. From inspiration to tactics to a good laugh, helping leaders build more fulfilling businesses and lives is what B2B Life is all about.
Hello, my name is Jeff. Welcome to the B2B Life Show. I've helped over 2,600 business owners and C-level clients over the last 20 years in professional services and cash flow management and personal and business goals. In doing so, I bring in experts in the B2B services to help my clients leverage what I consider the best in the industry in their business-to-business service. I'm here today with Pete Cardin and at Idaho Business Lending. And Pete's been doing this Pete, I should have asked you this before. How many years have you been doing lending?
I started in 2011. So we're looking at getting close to 13 years now that I've been in some sort of lending capacity.
13 years. Excellent. So Pete and I have been working together for a couple of years, working with some mutual business clients. We're going to explore a little bit about what makes Pete tick today. And Pete, welcome to the show officially.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jeff.
Yeah. So first off, some of my clients, obviously I always like to, and I think most people like to figure out who you are personally or who they're working with personally before they kind of delve into the business world, kind of get to know you. On a personal level, what's your family situation, hobbies? Like, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I've been here in Idaho for 12 and a half years. Moved out here from Oregon some time ago. Got a wife, been married for 15 years and a couple of kids, a 12 and an 8-year-old. My 12-year-old was just explained to me how she is about 2 months from becoming a teenager and she's very excited about it.
Wow. Question is, are you excited about it? All right.
I think it'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's cool. Very cool. So you got 2 kids. Awesome. Yeah. Well, good. What do you like to do for fun? Like, what's your weekends look like?
There's a lot of rest on the weekends. When the weather cooperates, usually in the spring and fall, me and the kids, and sometimes my wife will get out, go do some hiking, exploring, go see what's out there. Didn't do much of that this fall, but this spring we, about every Saturday we went on some sort of hike or a little adventure or whatever. And, then the rest of the time it's just some sort of work around the house, work around the business, work. So
yeah, awesome. Yeah, there's lots of good spots to go in the Boise area. I've been on some good ones as well. Looks like we've got quite a bit of snow out there. Yeah, now, so we won't be doing that anytime soon, but.
No, sir.
Yeah. Well, as far as your background professionally, I know you've helped some of my clients in the business lending with cash, as far as having access to somebody like you allows them to really reach out to multiple banks, multiple relationships. Whereas a traditional banking, it's a lot more difficult, as I've heard from clients, to get lending. And so just tell us a little bit about your background, kind of how you got into this and what you do.
Yeah. So, I started in banking 2011, and I started as a banker, primarily working with consumers, but a smattering of some business clients in there as well. Through the years, that business side just kind of grew, and I moved into more of a business role officially. That was probably 7 years ago. I've kind of lost track, but been working with them consistently ever since. I spend a lot of time working with contractors. They make up a large portion of my client base, but I am definitely open to working with all kinds of businesses. I have a number of different opportunities I'm working on right now that have nothing to do with contracting at all. But yeah, I've been, I did that for a number of years. I learned a lot, worked for a larger bank for most of my career, spent a little bit of time in a smaller institution that is and it was a good learning experience for me. We'll just leave it at that. It was a great learning experience for me. And I went out on my own back in June of, or I guess it was May of 22. Yeah, May of 22. About a year and a half into it now, a little bit more than that, and lending with everybody now. So instead of providing the best option I have within my own institution, I'm able to provide the best option available for the client, which is always a better experience. Just like when you're using a mortgage broker or an insurance broker, what's the best thing out there? What's the best fit for your client, and getting them the appropriate lending option, best pricing, all those different factors that get into it. Everybody's got different parameters, different lending appetites, and those kinds of pieces. So I can see through all of that for you, find you discounts, and find you the best fit.
Yeah, it's awesome. I started doing merchant services in 2005, and I was a broker, so I could kind of shop the best deal based off of, I think I had 12 different processors that I could reach out to and kind of find the best fit for the client, because it's not a cookie cutter world. And if you can have access to a guy like you that does a lot of legwork for the client, they don't have to like spend their days hunting different relationships, and at best they're probably only going to find 2 or 3 banks, whereas you have access to what's your tentacles out, like how many banks do you have access to?
I say 70 or 80. I've kind of lost track. I have a pretty extensive client list, or not client list, but lender list. That's everything from your bank down the street to some secondary lenders, private lenders.
Okay.
You name it, I have access to it. So it's kind of, I have a couple different wholesale brokers that I work with as well. So that brings in a number of lending options as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Do you have any, you mentioned contractors, do you have any other industries that you have a lot of clients in, or is there any second place?
Yeah, so I've been, it's really, contractors make up a large portion. I do a lot of work with B2B and contractors. And so, that really truly makes up a majority. I've touched on virtually every industry, but it's one here, one there, one here, one there.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's all the same. It's the lending parameters are lending parameters. They all have their own challenges, their own strengths, and it works out pretty well. That's just where a majority of my clients are, but their needs are big, right? I mean, you're looking at building buildings and houses, and they're expensive. It costs a lot. You have equipment, you have a ton of payroll, all the different stuff there. So there's always more of a lending, regular ongoing lending needs for those type clients, more so than maybe your mom and pop retail shop.
Now, what's like the lowest like dollar amount you like to play in, and what's the highest you've ever done? Like, what's your kind of range that, as far as dollar amount goes, if you're gonna?
Yeah, my clients, I try to stick between 25,000 to 5 million. That's the area I like to play in. I really enjoy the small stuff. It obviously doesn't pay as well, but I really enjoy the small stuff. I love working with startups and trying to help them up off the ground.
Cool.
There's not a ton, there's a lot of resources. There's not a ton of great resources. And so those clients I really like working with, because it's truly, hey, much like you can show up, say, I have this idea, this is what I'm doing, and I can give you all the pieces to get everything going, whether that's you need a bookkeeper, CPA, marketing, whatever those pieces are that you need to get going. Maybe it's a real estate agent, whatever the case is. I have all those pieces. I love it, because then I'm able to just help out and give you good resources for everything you need.
Yeah, it's fun making an impact when they're smaller and they can take some advice, and that's great. Yeah. Well, good. So obviously, our mutual interest is my clients, Capital One, would ideally pay for something on a credit card. It sounds like you can, with clients that work with you and that have worked with you, I have a few, can pay for your fee on a card. How does that? Can you give us a little high overview of that?
Yeah. So the way my fee structure works is I don't charge anything until you as a business are funded, Once you're funded, at that point, I can take payments in all forms. Happy to take money in any way, shape, or form that it comes my direction. But yeah, absolutely. So no fees until there's funding. If I can't get the funding accomplished, or if you find something better than I can find you, awesome, good for you, and have at it. I'm just here to help and get money in your pocket.
Okay, awesome. Well, good. Look forward to continue to work with you. Where can people find you? What's the best way for them to connect with you outside of reaching out to me, obviously, where I can refer to you? What's the best way to find you?
Yeah, email Pete at idahobusinesslending.com or text calls 208-470-6673. And then I have a website underway. It's not quite live, but that will be idahobusinesslending.com.
Okay, awesome. We'll put all that in the show notes so people can click it, find it again. We're going to have an in-depth part 2 of this conversation. So hopefully people can catch us over there. And Pete, thanks for your time.
Thank you.